in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help.
What if the biggest clue in this kidnapping wasn't the masked intruder, the ransom note, the mysterious glove, or the camera that went dark at 1:47 a.m.? What if the real moment people are focusing on involves footage of Savannah Guthrie and her mother, Nancy Guthrie, recorded long before everything changed? Now, clips from days before Nancy Guthrie disappeared are being reanalyzed. At the time, they seemed normal, a conversation, a pause, a glance. But today, people are studying those moments closely, trying to find meaning in hindsight. Before the headlines and the silence, life was ordinary. Now every frame feels heavier because of what followed. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare.
Was it tension? Was it fear? Or was it something no one wants to openly acknowledge? Savannah Guthrie is not just a daughter dealing with a personal crisis. She is a public figure whose career has placed her at the center of major interviews, political discussions, and high-profile investigations. Over the years, she has built visibility and influence through live television, a platform that amplifies both power and scrutiny.
Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment.
So when her 84-year-old mother, Nancy Guthrie, is taken, when cameras go offline and nothing appears to be stolen, questions begin to surface. People start looking at the details closely, asking whether it was coincidence or something more deliberate. Tonight, the footage is being examined frame by frame. Every pause, every movement, every angle is being reanalyzed as viewers try to understand what those moments might reveal and whether the focus of this case has been misplaced from the very beginning.
Developments in the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case. First of all, the testing of that glove, the DNA testing in Florida, is complete.
And here is where the case begins to feel less like a random crime and more like an unfolding headline under intense public scrutiny. Let's step back. Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, limited mobility, relying on daily heart medication, with medical monitoring connected to her phone, living quietly in Silver Ridge Estates. A neighborhood described as calm, where routines are predictable and familiarity defines daily life. On the surface, she does not fit the profile of a typical high-risk target. That reality is what makes people question the circumstances even more and ask whether the focus should remain solely on her or whether the broader context tells a more complicated story.
Now, that doesn't answer the questions about whose DNA is it and are they connected to this kidnapping?
Because her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, is not just a familiar public figure, she is a visible presence in national media. Primetime interviews, political discussions, and high-stakes conversations have defined her career. That visibility is what makes people look at this case differently. On the night Nancy Guthrie vanished, nothing appeared to be taken except her. No obvious signs of theft, no safe forced open, no electronics missing. A masked figure reportedly disabled the camera system and moved through the property with precision. The recovered glove is said to be undergoing forensic testing, with authorities examining DNA through a PCR process before any profile enters investigative databases. Observers note that the pattern does not immediately resemble a chaotic burglary. It appears calculated, though motive remains unconfirmed. In the days leading up to the disappearance, Savannah Guthrie had recently appeared in segments that generated strong public reaction and criticism from various political and corporate figures. Clips of those interviews resurfaced online, with users drawing timelines between public exposure and personal vulnerability. Whether those connections hold weight remains unclear, but they intensified discussion across social platforms. Authorities have also been reviewing additional physical evidence. Reports emerged about a vehicle seen circling the area prior to the incident and about a suspect's equipment being cross-referenced with firearm purchase data in the region. The camera system was reportedly disabled, quickly raising questions about familiarity with the property layout and security placement. Another detail that drew attention was the pacemaker monitoring system. At approximately 2:28 a.m., connectivity reportedly dropped, a technical disruption that investigators found notable because of its timing. Attention then shifted back to footage recorded between Savannah and her mother. The clip, now widely circulated, shows what appears to be an ordinary interaction, a daughter visiting her mother. Small gestures, brief pauses, and subtle expressions are being analyzed frame by frame. Some viewers point to tone shifts when security is mentioned. Others observe moments where attention seems divided. Body language analysts and online commentators interpret meaning into details that at the time likely carried no significance. Meanwhile, investigators continue examining forensic findings. A source described a possibility of a secondary DNA profile detected on the glove, though officials have neither confirmed nor denied that claim. If accurate, it would suggest more complexity around the scene. But at this stage, it remains part of the ongoing investigation, not a conclusion. Separately, attention has turned to additional leads, including the purchase of identical hiking backpacks in close proximity during the same period. One report noted that a buyer allegedly paid cash and declined a receipt. Such details are being treated as investigative leads rather than definitive evidence. As more fragments surface, some verified, others speculative, the broader picture remains incomplete. Each development adds context, yet answers remain elusive. Just days before the incident, reports surfaced that the official website of Savannah Guthrie experienced an attempted cyber intrusion. The attempt reportedly failed, but the timestamp placed it roughly 48 hours before Nancy Guthrie vanished. Whether that timing carries significance or represents coincidence remains unclear. Investigators appear to be reviewing it as part of a broader digital pattern rather than drawing immediate conclusions. At the same time, multiple ransom emails were reportedly sent to different media outlets. Each demanded cryptocurrency and claimed knowledge of Nancy's condition, yet none provided proof of life. In traditional ransom cases, proof is typically presented to establish leverage and credibility. The absence of that element has raised questions about intent and strategy behind the communications. Authorities say such messages are forwarded to federal investigators for verification and trace analysis. Another development involved the detention of an individual during a routine traffic stop after someone suggested similarities between his appearance and descriptions of a suspect. His home was searched, his phone examined, and hours of questioning followed. He was later released without charges. He has since claimed investigators presented relatives with a blurred image and asked whether it resembled him. The situation underscores a broader reality. Leads can emerge quickly, but identification without clear evidence remains fragile. Law enforcement officials continue to state publicly that multiple investigative angles are being pursued. When asked about motive, they have emphasized that nothing is being ruled out. That statement reflects uncertainty rather than confirmation, an acknowledgement that the case does not yet point clearly toward a single explanation. Political attention intensified as public pressure grew. Statements from high-level officials warned of severe consequences if harm had occurred. Such declarations signaled the seriousness with which authorities approached the situation, but they also amplified public scrutiny. Shortly after, reports emerged of unmarked vehicles appearing near properties connected to individuals who had prior public conflicts. No arrests were announced, and officials have not confirmed any direct connection, leaving those observations in the realm of reported surveillance rather than proven action. Financial analysts later observed brief activity in a cryptocurrency wallet linked to one of the ransom emails. The wallet activated momentarily before going dormant again. There were no major transfers, only a short burst of movement that raised questions about testing, monitoring, or automated systems responding to incoming attention. Amid these developments, discussions returned repeatedly to motive. If this were purely financial, proof of life would typically anchor negotiations. If random, investigators would expect clear mistakes or identifiable traces. Instead, the pattern appears layered and complex. As days pass, resources are mobilized, technology is deployed, and public appeals continue. The family remains visible through emotional statements urging action and awareness. Those messages are interpreted differently by different observers. Some see grief, others see determination under pressure. Legal experts suggest that if evidence ultimately establishes connections to intimidation or retaliation, charges could extend beyond kidnapping alone. But at this stage, many critical details remain unverified. The case continues to unfold under intense attention, with unanswered questions, competing theories, and investigators working to separate signal from speculation.